You just met someone new. You talked for 20 minutes, and you have almost no idea who they actually are. Not because you weren't paying attention, you were. But the information you received was filtered, curated, performed. What they chose to show you was a carefully managed presentation of a self, and you had no way to check it against anything real. Ancient humans did not have this problem, and the reason why tells us something uncomfortable about what we have lost. Let's go. In a band of 150 people, you did not meet someone. You knew them. You had watched them every single day for years, in every possible condition, hungry and fed, rested and exhausted, brave and frightened, generous and selfish. You had seen them when they thought no one was looking. You had watched how they behaved when something went wrong. You had observed whether the person they presented to the group was the same person who showed up in a crisis. Ancient humans were not better at reading people because they were smarter. They were better because the information they had access to was incomparably richer. Modern psychology calls what they had behavioral sampling across multiple contexts. The research is clear. The more context you observe someone in, the more accurate your assessment of their character becomes. A job interview gives you one context. A first date gives you one context. A social media profile gives you a curated highlight reel of zero real context. Ancient humans had hundreds of real contexts accumulated over years of daily proximity. There is something else. Ancient humans were reading signals that most modern humans have almost entirely stopped using. Micro-expressions, the involuntary flashes of genuine emotion that cross a human face before the conscious mind has a chance to suppress them. They last between 1/25th and 1/5 of a second. They cannot be faked. And most modern humans are almost completely unaware of them. Psychologist Paul Ekman spent decades documenting these. His research showed that people who received training in micro-expressions became dramatically better at detecting deception. The capacity is there. The software exists in every human brain. But if you are not using it constantly, it atrophies. Ancient humans used it constantly. Every interaction required it. The person across from you at the fire might be hiding how hungry they were, how frightened they were, how much they resented the decision that was just made. Reading the gap between what someone was saying and what their face was doing was not a social skill. It was a survival skill. Then there is the body, the posture, the micro-movements, the way someone holds their weight when they are being honest versus when they are withholding something, the tightening of the jaw that precedes anger, the slight forward lean that signals genuine engagement versus the polite stillness that signals boredom hidden behind courtesy. Ancient humans read all of this, not as a conscious analysis, as intuition, as a felt sense that built up from years of watching the same people in every possible state. We call this gut feeling. We treat it as mysterious. It is not mysterious, it is pattern recognition operating below conscious awareness. And the pattern library ancient humans had was vast and continuously updated by lived daily experience. Now here's the uncomfortable part. We have not lost the hardware, the mirror neurons that fire when we observe another person's emotions, the amygdala that flags threat and deception, the prefrontal regions that model what another mind is thinking and feeling. All of that is still there, still running, still trying to do its job. What we have done is flood the system with noise. The average person now has hundreds of social connections, most of them mediated through screens. Text removes tone. Video removes body language. Social media removes context entirely and replaces it with performance. Your brain is trying to read people using hardware built for 150 people observed across years. And instead it is being fed an endless stream of two-dimensional interactions with hundreds of people it will never know in any real depth. The capacity is not gone. The signal is just buried under too much noise. There is one more thing. Ancient humans were accountable for their reads in a way we never are. If you misjudged someone in a band of 150, you found out quickly. The consequences were real and immediate. They either were trustworthy or they were not. The food was shared or it was not. The danger was real or it was not. That accountability sharpened the skill. You were constantly checking your read against reality, constantly updating, constantly learning from the gap between who you thought someone was and who they turned out to be. Modern life rarely offers that feedback loop at the same speed or clarity. We misjudge someone, and the consequences are diffuse and delayed. The sharpening mechanism is gone. So what do you do with all of this? You cannot recreate a band of 150 people. You cannot undo the screen. You cannot go back. But you can do something that most people almost never do. You can slow down. You can watch. You can stop performing your own reaction long enough to actually receive what someone is giving you. You can notice the gap between what someone says and what their face does in the half second before they say it. You can notice how someone behaves when something goes wrong and no one seems to be watching. You can notice the small moments of generosity and the small moments of selfishness that most people miss because they are not paying that kind of attention. That attention, slow, patient, sustained across multiple real contexts, is what ancient humans had by necessity. You have to choose it deliberately. Your brain already knows how to read people. It was built for exactly that. It just needs you to give it the right kind of information. Real interactions, sustained attention, multiple contexts, time. Those are the four things ancient humans had that we have traded away, and every single one of them is still available to you if you choose to use them.